Hey guys, welcome to this week's batch cook. Has anyone guessed what I'm cooking yet? Yes, I'm going to keep it really simple this week. I'm going to do spaghetti bolognese with a little twist. My husband does love pasta, but I'm going to spiralize zucchinis and carrots, which I realized I haven't put out here. If you have a look, this is what I'm going to use. This is just for two of us. This will do us for lunches for the week. And I also will do spiralize some carrots as well. So these are basically everything that was on special in my local organic market this week. I did still have some pumpkin left over because I bought an entire pumpkin last week, and I just love cabbage, so I'm going to do some sauteed cabbage, and these are still left over. And honestly, if you buy them fresh enough, they are going to last you more than a week before you cook them. Anyway, let's get started. Okay, magic! Everything's cut up. You don't want to watch me cutting up, guys. I make such a mess in the kitchen. That's another really good reason why I love to batch cook, because I'll go and give this kitchen a good clean later on and mop the floor, and likewise because I do make a hell of a mess. I've got a few pans prepared. I've got this beautiful farm-raised, grass-fed, farm-killed, ethically grown, hopefully, beef from my local area and one of my local farmers. I've popped out a few more spices. As you can see, I do use a lot of dried stuff. It is all organic. I do believe in cooking organic 99.9% of the time because I think our bodies are worth it. And I always say, don't eat what your great-grandmother times 7 would have recognised as food, and I'm pretty sure she wouldn't have recognised any of that stuff they spray on our food these days. And just so you know, this is my secret ingredient for making everything Italian taste more Italian. But I'm not Italian. I was told this by an old Italian lady once. You wait. Well, she had smell-o-vision because this is the magic ingredient. It is magic, isn't it? More and more things start appearing on my shelf as I remember. Oh, I haven't poured out the olive oil. I do use lovely local Australian grown olive oil. Unfortunately, due to our biodiversity and, well, I don't think that's the right word, laws, everything gets irradiated and sprayed and x-rayed and all sorts of things when it comes into this country, which is great to protect ourselves from pests, I get it. But as much as possible, I try to buy Australian made or locally made. So the first thing I'm going to do, because you know I'm so organised, I have actually turned this oven on, maybe not. About 150 to 100, no, it's actually about 180. Let me have a look what I actually put it on. Oh, there you go, it's 180. So as you can see, my lovely organic pumpkin, I actually got this from a patient, very lucky, as a little form of gratitude. And I've just cut that up. It's a beautiful, I don't know what sort of pumpkin it is. So basically, I just put loads of olive oil in and off it goes. Now, of course, this is conjecture about should we or should we not cook with olive oil. Well, I think of my great-grandmother times 7, European, well, she probably cooked with pork fat most of the time. But I have this thing about, I'm not Polynesian. My genes probably don't recognise coconut oil. And I'm pretty sure Giuseppe, 4,000 years ago, in Sardinia, would have cooked his sardines with olive oil, right? And they're the ones that live to over 100. So I'm going to go with anecdotal historical evidence rather than what the double-blind controlled research papers show, because we're not too sure if that's the right way to go with diet, is it, in a lab situation. So I always cook with olive oil. So let's get started. I've got this really cool, this is my favourite, as you can see. I've actually got this as an engagement present. I'm married 33 years this year, so this is a little bit old. I am going to use a different hot plate to what I've got this really cool oval one down the back, but I actually want you guys to see what I'm doing a little bit more. So I'm going to turn this on, and we're going to get started. Here we go. So, first of all, loads of olive oil. Loads of olive oil, loads. Chopped up onion. As I said, I'm not the world's best chopper, so I do like fresh onion, but I will use granulated garlic just because I don't have time. I hit the ground running most days. So this is organic granulated garlic, and it tastes honestly just as delicious. So I'll just pop those onions in. Now we're going to give those, because see what I mean? What a mess. I do this all the time. I'm going to give these guys a little bit of a zhuzh around. Add some more olive oil here. Just until they're sort of, what's the word? Caramelise? Now the secret with olive oil, the secret with garlic, I don't know if you guys know, but the earlier you add the garlic, the less garlicky it tastes. So if you really want a lovely pungent garlic flavour, add it quite late. So I always try and add my garlic. I haven't forgotten about this, what I'm saying. I try and add my garlic. I hope this hot plate's going to work. Towards the end, after with all the other spices, which are here. Well, that's for the cabbage. And it just fell off. That's for the cabbage. Okay. I've got this leek here too. I don't know what I'm going to do with, but I'll think of something because that was left over from last week, so I need to use it up. I am going to turn this hot plate on too. I have the steamers ready. I don't own a microwave. Honestly, steaming is just as quick. And I'm just going to lump these in. I don't know if it's all going to fit. I might have to do it in a bit of a batch. Usually I cram it all in. It seems to work. And I just spin, yeah, that's all going to go in. I'm not a great judge of volume. Where's that husband of mine when I need him? As you can see, everything goes in. Beautiful, perfect. Why did I doubt that? Also, let's do the cabbage while we're here. So as you can see, the slippery little sucker. This is why I have one of these. I am a messy cook. So we're just going to let that. They're actually lovely coated in olive oil now. You have a look. I'm sorry, haven't got too much great camera equipment. Basically, this blog is just about showing you how easy it is. And honestly, within an hour, you'll have a really good meal prepared for the entire family. And it's just about, if you've got a family of 4 or a family of 6 or whatever, just increase the volumes. I have big mama, what I call matriarch pans when the whole family's here, because the crazy Germans to get together and there's food everywhere and people are cooking and we've got hot plates going and barbecues going. So these are just my normal pans. But if you do have a larger family, just use bigger pans and more volume, clearly. I don't know how much this is. It's about that much, right? So with this pan here, where I'm going to do the cabbage, I am going to use, sorry for leaving the stage, I am going to use just plain organic butter. And look, I think that's probably just the right amount there. I'll pop that in. I buy my organic butter from Aldi because it's just the cheapest, and I usually buy it in sets of 10 because I actually mainly shop at my local organic shop, but their butter is probably twice the price, and Aldi assures me it's grass-fed and all organic. I mean, our organic laws in Australia are pretty good, so I'm really confident with that. They're hissing and browning nicely. That's going to go nicely as well. What I do with my sauteed cabbage, there's a lot, okay? And what I actually do is I melt the butter, and then I'm not organised today, but I'll use my kettle. I actually put a tiny little bit of water in, so it kind of saute steams. I do my Brussels sprouts like this as well. Delicious! So let's go. Look at the chunks. Hopeless I am. But I figure it makes us chew more, right? So I've got the steam on full heat, which is 9 on my stove. I've got the onions on comparably 8, and they're starting to hiss nicely, so I'll turn them down in a minute. My cabbage, and that wasn't on special, but I just saw that cabbage and thought I must have it, and I've got a nice big one. So, and I'm not organised enough to get the lid, so where is the lid? I'll grab that lid out in a minute because it's going to make a hell of a noise. So I'll just put that in there, put it back in when it falls out because that's what it does. Now the onions are starting to hiss nicely, so I'm going to turn them down to 5. As I said, my cabbage is on 7, and I'm just going to let that steam through, head through until I'm sure that the butter's melted, which it has. And very soon, when it's all organised, we'll add the meat. So let's add the secret ingredient, anchovies. So I'm probably not going to use all of these. As I said, if I I usually buy the glass ones, but for some reason I couldn't get them, so I bought these ones. I'm just going to add 2 tiny little anchovies and probably just eat the rest out of the tin, because I do love these things. And as you can see, they're a bit tricksy to get out sometimes. You literally just put 1 or 2 in with your onions when they're... Actually, because I've got a lot of mince, I'm going to add another one. I promise you, you will not taste the fish. It just gives it that amazing, and it actually literally melt. So it just gives it that amazing Italian flavour. I'll show you guys in a minute. It's kind of just melts in, and I don't know. I do think it's the secret of a lot of Italian cooking. Maybe all the Italians out there can dispute that, or whether this Italian nonna was actually, who I was nursing actually many years ago, was telling me fibos or not, but gosh, it works. So as you can see, and it does make it smell more delicious. It's, I guess it's the Italian version of adding fish sauce, isn't it, when you think about it? So that's all ready to go, and I'll take them out, and then I'll start. And what I'll do, I'll take them out and I'll show you how I do the mince. And here we have the already freshly steamed veg. Probably because I'm faffing around showing you guys how to do it, I probably wouldn't have steamed these quite so much, but undercooked cabbage is quite awful, so that's probably just a little bit overcooked. Broccoli and the cauliflower, on the other hand, are absolutely perfect. Of course, remember, we're going to be heating this up. I've got the mince in here, I've got it all in. I know you're supposed to brown in batches, but honestly, for the sakes of, see how messy I am? For the sakes of time and cooking, it's never been a problem for me. So the other thing I'll do with these, I'll put them aside to cool before I put the lids on. As you can see, everything's glass magic. This is caraway. This is just a spice grinder I bought in like a kitchen shopping thing in Brizzy. And I'll put that on, and I'll just let that percolate through. So I'll just pop them over here. And now we are just going to keep on adding some olive oil to this mince, because it is going to take a while. Naomi and I probably go through about a litre of olive oil a week at least, because we just love the stuff and I think it's so good for you. So I know this is not strictly a veggie, but corn was also on special, so I'm going to steam, while I've still got that water in there, of course, I'm going to steam some corn. I'll just have to find what I've done with the lid, because, you know, I'm a perpetual tidy-upper. So I'll just give that a quick little stir. It is going to take a little while to completely cook through, probably about 5 or 10 minutes, but we don't want to be standing here watching that, so I'll get back to you when it's nicely browned, and I'll tell you what else I do after that. So the mince has been cooking nicely. I do actually, as I said, just stir it a lot. As you can see, it's browned through nicely. You don't need to add it in batches. The corn, I think, is almost ready. As I said, it's all par cooked because we are going to be reheating it for lunch. We do have our biggest meal of the day is lunch, and then we just usually have a light salad or something for dinner because we get home so late. And I don't think it's terribly great for the digestion to have a big meal, stodgy meal, just before you go to bed. Well, we know that's not right, so I didn't make that up, that is researched. So basically, here we have the corn already. So that'll just need a couple of knobs of butter. That's going to be delicious, isn't it? Corn, as I said, is not a vegetable. It's a grain. That's why you can make flour and stuff out of it, I guess. But occasionally, and it was on special, occasionally as a treat we will have it. We don't need a lot of grains, but as you can see, I'm not completely nasty wife. I will pre-cook some spaghetti for my husband later on. And there is some research showing that if you actually cook your carbs, then cool them, and then reheat them, the resistant starch goes up. So A, it's better food for your bacteria, and we've got to keep our guys here happy, and B, It's lower GI, so it turns less quickly, is that a word, into sugar in the system. So that's what I always do, and it's just easier because in the morning when you have to be out the door at 7:30, you don't want to be steaming or cooking spaghetti or anything for that matter. So we'll just have it all prepared and ready. I'll just check the pumpkin. That's looking a bit delicious as well. Have a look at that. I don't know if I can get that out. Hang on a second. I'm a bit slack with this sort of stuff. I use my tea towel all the time. So there we go. Ta-da! Safety first. So that pumpkin, I'll probably leave it at that because when you reheat it, you don't want it too mushy. So just chuck that out. See what I mean? It's just about, it's a bit like orchestrating an orchestra, isn't it? You just kind of just do it all at once. And I've literally been in the kitchen less than an hour this far. And usually it's a lot quicker when I'm not faffing around showing people stuff, because of course I wouldn't have everything in neat glass containers and that all goes in together. Talking of which, let's put those onions back in. So now I've got that on about 8, but I'm going to turn it down to 7. So we're just going to fold those in. Now we're going to add the mushrooms. I think I might be running out of room here. I think that was more mince than I usually cook. So we'll just see how we go. We'll put that in. Now I know I haven't added any spices yet, but I will very soon. So we're just going to, should have got out the matriarch pot today. So I think, although those, don't forget the mushrooms will sort of cook away to nothing in a minute. So we'll just put the lid on and let that cook for a little bit, turn it down. So that doesn't hurt anyway, it still could do a little bit of cooking. I'll turn that down, I'll put the lid on. I always just put my wooden spoon, made for by my dear old dad when in his wood turning days, just as a bit of a vent, I guess. And while that's happening, I'll probably just make my pasta from these wonderful little things called zucchinis, courgette, is it courgette? And I'll grab some carrots out and do that as well. So watch this space. Aren't we blessed to have such great kitchen appliances that don't cost us the earth? This little beauty from just my local discount shop, Kmart, literally cost me $20, I'm embarrassed to say. I used to have a hand spiralizer and I'd be standing there, and I guess it's good turning all that for your wrists, it's good to exercise, but this is amazing, this little thing. It spiralizes veggies really quickly. All you've got to do is sort of poke them in, and here we go. Ready? How much quick is that? So I actually have that all ready to go. And then I don't actually cook these. I'll just add them to my to the mince first before I get it ready for work, and then it'll just sort of heat through. With the carrots, I'll do the same thing. It's actually quite delicious. I'll show you how the carrots work as well. So I conceded defeat. I needed to get out the mini matriarch pot. Actually, I've made it tricky for myself now because this is the one I would normally be cooking spaghetti in, and it would already be happening. But that's okay, that's fine. The other thing I've done is just the little offcuts from the zucchini we've popped in there, because you know you can hide lots of stuff in spaghetti and bolognese. So if you have kids that don't like vegetables, you can actually spiralize the zucchini. How good do they look? I mean, really amazing, right? You can actually spiralize them and pop them in the sauce, and they probably don't even know it's there, or grate them. But I actually am a bit of a traditionalist. I like the way my mama taught me how to make spaghetti. So Himalayan or Celtic salt, don't be afraid to use it, but just remember that if you do start to use this salt, your body will get a taste for salt. People say, oh, isn't salt bad? And I go, well, yeah, sodium chloride and aluminium, that's the flowing agent there, the commercial salt people use, is bad. But look at this. I mean, that's just beautiful, all the minerals together. This is Himalayan salt. I actually prefer Celtic, just because it's got more iodine, but again, sometimes when things are on special, you buy it. And you do get a taste for salt, so I've always got a little baggie in my bag. I'll feeling like some drug addict when I go to cafes and stuff and add my own salt. Look, and if I can't, I can't. I mean, you do the best you can for 99% of the time, you know. As I said, my first rule is eat what your great-grandmother times 7 recognised as food. My second only is eat food that rots, because if the bugs outside are going to like it, the bugs inside are going to like it. This is pepper, by the way. And only God is perfect, and even He rested on the 7th day, so we do what we can. As you can clearly see, I love basil. We live in southeast Queensland. Sometimes we have great weather to grow stuff, and sometimes it's really appalling. So everything dies in our hot summers. We had a hot, crazy summer this year. So basically, I just couldn't grow, my herbs just shriveled up and died. So I do buy the basil by the kilo because I love it. And this is honestly just due to your taste. As you can see, we love pepper, and it's the ground stuff. And honestly, I do think some of these aren't made in this country, but you do what you can. And then we just have a little thing of Italian mixed herbs as well, which is your thyme and your marjoram. Oh, look, you know, that's what I usually do, so let's do it. Why pretend, hey? And guess what? This is when I put the garlic in as well. Loads of garlic. I love garlic. So it's all about the spice. So now, you see, your cooking needs room. So I was pretending myself, you know, kidding myself with that other little pot. So I'll just give it a good stir. And that is a lot. So it's honestly, I might actually freeze some of this, because this is probably going to do us way more than the week. Okay, just happen to have a spoon here. Let's see how it starts to taste. I'm a big taster. Categorically delicious. Tomato paste. We might actually need, because I've got a huge batch, I might actually have to put some more in. Let's see how I go. As you can see, I'm not a great measure outerer. It works. But they're the basics, so you know you can just play around. And so much people don't like a lot of tomato sauce. Is that an oxymoron? I love tomato sauce. I do try and get my tomato paste in glass, because tomatoes being acidic, when they put them in tins, they put that awful plastic lining around it. Oh, yeah, no, I'll probably add another one to that, because I like it tomatoey. So I put that on 6. Remember, 9's my hottest. So we will. So that's the clock just chimed. So that's going on an hour now that I've been cooking, and I have been faffing around doing lots of stuff. Let me just go to the pantry and grab another thing of tomato sauce. I'll show you my pantry actually. For my friends reckon I'm always ready for a nuclear winter. I think it's in my genes. My parents went through the wall and they were starving, and my genetics has probably recognised that I just love food, just like my parents did. Maybe it was a learned thing, I don't know. But I've got lots of stuff in my pantry that I rarely run out. So let me just grab some tomato paste. Some more tomato paste. You can get these bigger, so you know it's usually I will just go one, but I have an enormous amount of mince this time, so I must have parceled these ones up a little bit bigger, in bigger quantities. And for the tomato paste, and this is tomato paste, not, what's the other stuff called? Not salsa, passata. If you want to use passata, you wouldn't have to put water in. The passata gives you a slightly sweeter flavour. I like that really thick richness of the tomato paste. So that's looking good now. So I'm just going to, that's the consistency I like. So the consistency, you can see the little bits of zucchini. You could have cut that down smaller. You can make your onions smaller, your mushrooms I've added in, of course. And that's just literally going to set and reduce down. And I'll taste it again shortly. But I'll start putting some stuff away, and I'll show you my clean kitchen when I'm all finished, and my pantry. I hope that's helped, but I will, as I said, show you the finished product in a minute. And we're nearly done. So this is just bubbled and reduced away. I'm just having a look at the clock. It literally only took 10 minutes. It smells delicious. No smell of anchovy inside. I guess it's a bit like the Chinese fish sauce concept, isn't it? That you're going to put a little bit of anchovy in. I will add that to here. Now my pumpkin all ready to go. I've shown you the cabbage. I did actually end up putting the leeks in here because I didn't know what else to do with them and I wanted to use them up. 4 little corn cobs all in a row. My amazing spiralized zucchini. Oops. I decided not to make the carrots because there's enough here and I've already got orange. I try to eat every colour of the rainbow. Fear not, purple will come in because I do sour cherries in my smoothie every morning. And there's my broccoli and cauliflower steamed. So literally this will, in the mornings, we'll just grab a little bit of this off this each and then we take it to work and it gets reheated. And that is basically how you batch cook and eat well for the entire week. Thank you.